have been a visionary when it comes to steering company brands for tech trends, and you are very passionate about it. Uh, we have discussed a story about how you played a role in the inception of one of the magic quadrant ahead of its time when you were in Cigniti, right? Your work at Cigniti, Kore.ai, InnoMinds is a public testimony to your ability to spot trends and then steer brands in that direction.
It's actually, chronologically, if you see, I played, this is my second innings at Cigniti. So there is a tremendous amount of work that we did in the first phase, which is actually the most important brand transformation thing, which I will talk about. And then we could move to what we did at InnoMinds and Core as well. Right. So, as I was telling, the brand, I love this whole adage that I sort of do when I teach classes on a chapter called building challenger brands. So imagine, recollect that old spice ad where there is a guy who's actually rafting in the middle of an ocean, all the odds stacked against, and then he comes out winning. So that was the sort of things when we started Cigniti back in 2012. And here was and then I also used to show, I continue to show that slide where whenever I talk about brand transformation of what we built, imagine uh, a small chick coming out of the egg, doesn't have any background to it, and then what it actually comes out and becomes is a champion with one single thing, a grit and a steel of nerves. So this was the dimensions of what we did at Cigniti. We went on to build the world's largest, or one of the largest rather, second, third, first pure play quality engineering company from nowhere. And first time when I actually went to talk to Gartner for signing up a subscription, the Gartner guys were very advisory. They were telling that you're a very, very small company, about 10 million-ish maybe, or 5 million-ish maybe. Do you really think you want to do all of this and you can, But then the vision that we carried was not from 6 months or 1 year. It is about when we were $5 million, we were thinking about $100 million brand. And of course, thanks to the eternal confidence of the leadership and some of the rock star marketing leaders that I have been blessed to work with. Fortunately, I could hire all of them. We went on to create magic, not just in Gartner, but many, many analyst recognitions, Forresters, Nelson Halls, IDCs, and Everests, and including Forbes. But what was common in amongst all of this is transforming the brand, putting the brand at the center of it, what I call a 360-degree marketing approach to building challenger brands, and eventually leading up to a fact that it becomes a viable alternative to global leaders. So I think the spirit carried that whole thing. Messaging played a great role in that, and the tenets of the brand, when I look back and see what it is, very, very proud. And then of course we will talk about the second phase of the brand transformation, from pivoting it up until there. So that's the foundation thing. And then all of this in a public limited company, with investor spotlight and everything in the glare of the media. Imagine the first press release when we went, none of the vernacular medias carried it, to a state where a Wall Street Journal to New York Times started chronicling it. I think that's a transformation that we are talking about, and that's a result of hundreds of man hours of toil with passion and eternal optimism. And as I said, thanks to the wonderful marketing teams and leaders that were part of this whole journey. And I want to also tell one thing here. The pitch that I used to give to them was, again, inspiration to what Steve Jobs actually did to one of those execs when he said that, do you want to sell sugar water or come and change the world? So in my own little, canvas, I used to call people from, I had leaders from all the time, Infosys, TCS, HCL, Wipro. These were guys who were already running big marketing teams and stuff. So I used to tell them that, do you want to continue working in the cushion of a brand that's already established, or come and create something which can disrupt them at one single day? And that sort of resonated with them, thanks to them. And today, of course, on a lighter note, my marketing leaders are actually running very, very, very large companies, either as CMOs or entrepreneurs, or even industry analysts, but we are all one family. And that is the transformation I'm talking about. It's human capital transformation, it's talent transformation, and it's that innate ability to believe that something that was not conceived in normal lines of the book, which I said was what I learned from the leaders I worked, is actually put into action. And all this by a team which didn't have any conventional backgrounds in doing that. We sort of drew best practices from all over the world. We created our own marketing playbook, and I can go on about it. So that's the first phase of Cigniti journey, and my foundational role play to sort of build a brand that is iconic in its nature. Now maybe we could go to the other parts of it, Prashant. I hope I just gave that chronology right.
No, this definitely helps. So let us probably come to the next part, which was Kore.ai,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's right.
The name itself has AI in it, and in 2023, it is like a household name.
Yeah,
Uh, Many people have already heard about chat GPTs and they've heard about AI.
right,
But talking about Core.ai many years before, right?
right.
So how was that journey like? AI in those days when it was like very niche subject handled by few people,
Yeah,
and the Core.ai brand that time.
yeah.
So
So as I said, right, firstly, I would like to thank one other inspiring CEO, entrepreneur of absolutely world-class pedigree, Mr. Raj Konero, who actually gave me an opportunity to join him and work. That's so the thanks to him. The second part was I was at the peak of my comfort zone at Cigniti in my first innings, really peak of it. And then I had a mentor, who's unfortunately no more, who also happens to be one of the strong leaders at Cigniti. I went up to him and said, "Look, I get excited by technology. I'll have to probably go do something out to quench my thirst for learning." And of course, as a computer science postgrad, I sort of always had this fascination on how intelligence with machines can make magic, right? Which is what we are told and taught when we do advanced compilers and natural language processing. So the AI was just getting to be mainstream, though it always existed since the first Turing test, as we all knew. And I didn't want to go and join some mediocre stuff, right? So I wanted to really work with someone who actually knows a thing or two about it and who's probably, the best. And then imagine for 2 years, I always tell it was like running 100 meters dash with a Carl Lewis every single day. So Core.ai's 2 years was for me was like that. And then here was a leader who was actually he had earlier built companies like Coney, which were Gartner Forrester leaders in the mobile application development platforms. And Raj was known to do things which were phenomenally advanced. And by the time I went to Core, he was redefining conversational AI from initially building to a conversational messenger sort of a platform, which was on the likes of Slack and everything. He was repositioning it and pivoting it to a developer platform for enterprise conversational AI, chatbots, and virtual assistants. These are not meek chatbots at college stuff, right? These are enterprise chatbots. And he was talking about bot stores when App Store was mainstream. So that was very inspirational for me to have picked up that. And of course, it was also in my own interest that I always sort of thought ahead of the game. Sometimes being too ahead is also not so helpful. But then here was a technology that was getting shaped up, and the next 2 years was all learning. And I sort of had so much of unlearning, bootstrapping myself back from the services hat that I had into product hat again. I was alternating always between services and product companies, and then product marketing, messaging, technical product marketing, developer evangelism, building teams from the ground up that can actually do real class, enterprise class marketing. And some of the leaders that I hired still continue to work at Core. And I also happen to work with some finest AI architects, chief technology officer, a good friend of mine who is the CTO at Core now. But what I want to draw now here is some of the use cases that I had an opportunity to imagine, and then we laid the foundation for Core's undisputed journey. While Core is now a Gartner acknowledged, a Gartner recognized leader, the foundations were certainly laid in the 2 odd years that I had an opportunity to work, and some marquee analyst recognitions came in. And I'm glad that I played a little role in a stellar journey that Core is continuing to make. But if there was one person who gained out of all of this, it was myself, because I learned a lot of AI that I can probably say that it was one of the best decisions that I made, and also the most what I said. It's very, 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 very what do you say, energy sapping, but unimaginable work. I again repeat, it's like running 100 meters dash with Carl Lewis every single day, because you're working with someone who is always 2 steps ahead of your thought process. And thanks to Raj for whatever learning that I got. And then I took a break from there, because I was really, really sapped out of my physical energy. If not anything, I wish I was more fitter, probably, to have continued it. But when I look back, absolutely great stuff. And it's like going to a county, if you know cricket, right? You sometimes take a county opportunity, go there, play for a couple of years in all swinging conditions, get your ranks right, and come back and start scoring more centuries and prepare yourself for the next. So that is exactly what I did at Core. And it so happens that that foundation is now leading up to generative AI, enterprise conversational AI, and so on and so forth, where I am far more comfortable.